Today I am doing my interview number 7, and it's very simple. Write a program that enters or that lets the user enter a number between 1 through 10, and then the program will generate that amount of random numbers, random characters, lowercase letters. So we'll start. I already have my header file here. I have my prototypes. We're using vectors, so I had to include vector. But yeah, here are the prototypes. So first we will include, if I can spell, stream. Next we will include, I can't spell, vector. And then lastly, we will include our header file, which would be random chars using namespace standard. Then we'll int user input, int the integer n, and then we'll have a do loop. So I'll do loop while we ask the user first to enter a number between 1 and 10. And then we'll have our variable, and then we'll have a while loop inside of this, basically saying as long as n is less than or greater than 10, we'll return n. Next, we will have our vector char gen char int integer n. Then we'll have vector chars. Boom. Then we'll have our random time, and it's not null, it'll be 0. Next we'll have a for loop. This will help us loop each time for the number of characters that our array would have. So int index equals 0 while index is less than the integer. It will increment index and then close parentheses, curly brackets, and then push back random. And then this basically what we're gonna do here is this will basically give us it'll keep letting new values enter, and then this is a comparison, basically comparing a plus random. Boom. So then after that, let me zoom out a little bit. Return, and then lastly we'll have our function void display char constant vector chars for char c chars c out c, and that. Lastly, our main is very simple because we pretty much just broke down the whole program, so that way our main CPP isn't like so massive. So now we'll have int main boom boom curly brackets, and then we'll have int integer n equals user input, and then we'll have our vector. So this is basically calling each function that we just did on the other CPP file. This is basically calling them so we can actually get our results that we are looking for. So, and then return 0. So now if I hit run, now we'll see it's asking for us to enter a number. So if I were to enter 5, it will give me 5 random lowercase letters. Or 5 characters, I meant, not lowercase. It'd be both. I'm pretty sure that's what the program said. Yes, see? Even though the program here says random lowercase letters, here it tells us both upper and lowercase. So that's why I did both upper and lowercase. So yeah, that's my project. Like I said, our main just calls every function that we did from here, and then this all ties in with obviously our prototypes here. So yeah, as long as n is less than 1, oh no, it's saying while n is less than 1 or greater than 10, it will return the value of n, meaning if the user puts anything lower than 1 or higher than 10, it will reprompt the user to enter a number between 1 and 10. I can show you. So if I were to enter 11, it would just restate the prompt again. If I do 0, same thing. So then if I hit 10, there you go. And then that's where this vector comes in. And this vector basically serves as like an array of sorts. It will just constantly, every time it generates a random number or a random letter, it will push it back towards the end, and it will just keep filling up the array until it gets to that requirement, which is this right here. And then obviously to display it, C being the random character that gets generated, so C would be like capital A, lowercase x, T, O, etc. And then all ties back to this, we call it, and then that's how this works. So yeah, thank you for looking and listening to me doing this. Yeah, thank you.